Should Christians pay Labola?
That's a good question. Let's talk about that.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
So, okay, we're just gonna
Yeah.
start. Are you ready? You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ready? Okay, Labola!
Okay.
Balola!
Balola.
Labola.
Shabalobalo.
So,
Labola, man.
Labola.
Labola.
I mean, a lot of people sort of know what Labola is.
Yeah.
Like, growing up as a South African, you hear of Labola.
Every now and then.
I'm not in that cultural reference, but like, Labola is around us. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
But like, what is Labola really? Like, is it you're just like buying a wife?
Yes.
Or
No, I'm
is-
joking. So it's actually a lot more complex than that. There's a lot more things involved. It's not like you just go one day and you give someone a large sum of money and then like, cool, now I have your daughter and she will perform wifely duty. It's not like slavery. That sounds a bit like slavery. It's not that at all. It's a bit different.
I don't
Like, it's a
know.
lot
To me, that
different,
sounds exactly like slavery, because slavery is when you give money and you receive a person. Think about it.
Man, should Christians be practicing this? I don't know.
Okay, well, to be honest, I guess it's more consensual than that.
I hope so.
Definitely more
I hope
consensual.
so.
Or let's not go down that rabbit hole, right? Let's not go there. But I mean, Labola is a good thing. But
Yeah.
if we want to ask this, first thing we need to know is, what is Labola? Like what is it? What's
No,
the
actually,
purpose?
before we all get into answering what Labola is, we just want a quick disclaimer. So we know that South Africa is a very diverse country. A bunch of people, a bunch of things, and a bunch of cultures will do it differently. We have the Zulu, the Xhosa, the Tswana, the Swati, the Sotho, the Afrikaners, the Vendas, and the whatchamacallits. And everyone does it differently. So we're just
Well,
gonna...
Afrikaners don't do it at all. But
Afrikaners is plezierig, dit kan jy lig nooit.
It's a broken system, guys.
it's a broken system.
That's a broken system.
But we do have a funny segment that we're doing that's saying like what it would look like if white people paid Labola.
Oh, yeah.
Like, would there be buckies and two-tone t-shirts? And I think with the petrol price,
With
with the diesel price, it'll be
He
diesel.
wants at least 50 liters of diesel.
Yeah, 50.
Like,
Yo,
just to-
50. Yo, 50 liters
Just to
of
get
diesel.
it, just to start the negotiation, because he's got to drive to the. You got to drive to the farm.
Yeah. No,
Yes,
you go
man.
there by horseback now.
You gotta drive to the blast. Okay.
But anyway,
Anywho.
so I mean, we just want to make sure that we're saying this because there's so many different cultures. We
Yeah.
don't want to miss anything. This is
Yeah.
just a general idea to what Labola is.
Yeah.
So if we miss a little cultural reference here and there, forgive us, because there are like 11 official languages in South Africa, and I don't know how many cultures. I guess more.
45.
A billion.
It's a solid
So
guess.
I mean, we're very diverse. So it's very difficult to obviously tackle each one.
Yeah.
Right now.
So we're just gonna hit the generalized stuff, and we just want to kick it off with. So Labola is explained easily and simply by this: the bride price.
The bride price.
Bride price.
So the heart behind it is this thing, or the picture of it is that there's a bride price that is being paid.
Yeah.
But
And
what's the heart behind the
So the
bride
heart behind the bride price, it just says these three things. It says that I can provide. I'm able to provide for your daughter. She's not gonna go like hungry. We're not gonna live on love and water.
it's difficult.
There's food out there. And then it also says I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm
Okay.
more than happy to sacrifice for your daughter and lay myself down if need be.
And you're capable to be a protector.
Yeah.
Provide.
Yeah.
That whole picture.
Yeah.
So
Finance does bring security.
So it's testing a good part of ability.
yeah.
Like
It
what your
just says I
ability
can
is.
do this.
Okay.
Essentially.
All right. And then I've heard by someone that it's also said that it's a way of saying like that you're extremely grateful just
Yeah,
for like
man.
this person that you're able to marry.
Well, thank you for this amazing human being.
Yeah, but I understand that. It's like, thank you for shaping this woman and
Yeah.
taking care of her and shaping her into the woman she is today.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't love this woman if
If it wasn't for you guys.
it wasn't for you guys
for you,
shaping her.
for you.
So the heart behind it is obviously this picture of gratefulness, but also
Yeah.
a picture of showing ability, which
Yeah.
I think is a good thing. But like practically, let's get into the nitty-gritty
Let's get into
of it.
the
How does it work?
nitty-gritties.
Like how do you start Labola?
So I think this doesn't really matter, but between you and the bride. So let's say we're getting married, right? We'll tell. I'll go
First
to
of
you.
all, we can't get married. 'cause
Why not? I
we're
think
two
I'm
boys.
look at
That's
me.
another different
First of
discussion,
all, this. Anyway, So,
imagine you're getting married.
Imagine getting married. So you and your potential bride, you say either at the end or before you get engaged, you get down on the knee, you do the whole.
Is
thing.
Is there like you first get engaged and then Labola, or do you do Labola first and then you can get engaged? Like is there
that
a
I feel
process?
that's between you two. That doesn't actually
Okay.
fit into the Labola process at all because engagement is part
Is
of the,
the
process.
lobola,
Yeah.
okay.
So if the family say yes, I feel like
So it's more
lot
like a
easier.
white wedding thing.
Yeah, it's more like a white cultural thing than a black cultural thing.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So we didn't have rings back in the day.
Yeah.
We just had cows. So we did what we did.
We did what we did.
Anyway,
you can't fit a cow on your finger. That's
unless she's a big lady. Anyway.
Okay,
Unless
but
it's
then
a really small car. I
but
feel
then
like
you'll
it's
start
otherwise-
negotiations.
You start negotiations,
So-
but yeah.
But like, so who's at this negotiation?
So it's it's you.
Obviously, that would be a good
yeah,
thing.
you'd have to be there. You're,
Sometimes you're not there.
Sometimes you're not there. Sometimes it's your dad and your uncles, and her
Why-
dad and her uncles.
Why uncles?
I don't know. I think it's the patriarchy. The patriarchy is strong. It's just the men represent the family.
Okay.
So it's all the men would
Would go.
go. The
Alright.
women are not allowed.
But I have heard a story where there was no men in the family, and then
yes,
the
then
mom or the
the grandma
went.
would represent. Yeah.
So obviously there are those moments.
Yeah.
But why the uncles? Like, I mean, you know uncles, right? You see uncles like when you're 3, maybe when you're 16, and then when
Again, when
married.
you're getting married, and he's just there like, let me make this huge important decision for your life. You'll thank me later. You'll thank me later.
Like, you don't know me, man. But anyway, it's okay. I understand. So there are uncles there, and
Yeah.
then so how does it work? Like, how does it start? So
Okay.
let's say I rock up
Yes.
at the house of this girl.
Yeah.
What do we do?
So there's you rock up to the house of this girl and there's a fee. It's called vulamlom.
Vulam Lom.
Yes.
That's cool.
It means open the mouth. Necessarily means starting the conversation. So
Okay.
you pay to enter the house.
You pay to go into the
You
house.
pay to go into the house.
Just to go into the house.
Just to go into the house.
There's a loophole, guys. We figured it out.
Yeah.
Like Jehovah's
what did we
Witnesses,
figure
or people that come to us to knock
Yeah,
at the door.
man.
Tell them you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. It's just Vulam Lom.
I really,
You can pay the price. Like, I know you want to say what's that?
you wanna tell me about your herbal life?
Herbalife. You're more than welcome.
I'm so interested.
Vulam Lom.
Yes.
Um,
you can have like a little box outside your house. Yeah.
Especially when people come and visit that you don't want them to visit.
Oh yes, man. Like when those uncles come.
Okay, no, but it's
yeah.
okay. So you pay to enter the house.
Yeah, you pay to enter the
to
house.
go inside, and then you just
Well-
like enter the house and like, hey.
Well, it actually depends on the family. They can really be like super strict and diligent about it.
Okay.
And they can be like, you pay to enter the house, you pay to sit down, and you pay to start speaking.
Money, money, money must be funny in the rich man's world.
Always make sure you have a 10 Rand on you. Is what I'm saying.
You probably take more than 10 Rand worth. Like,
Well, yeah,
how much
yeah.
would this process cost?
So there's this really crazy story about Itumeleng Kune. So he was
He was the soccer player, the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
for
so
South Africa.
Africa's goalkeeper.
2010.
Kaizer Chiefs.
I remember that.
Makosi
I
for
just remember
life.
for 2010.
Yeah, so he went through this whole lobola process and he paid like up to R1 million, R1 million plus,
Money, money, money.
Sure.
just for the lobola process. There wasn't even a white wedding included.
Just for the lobola.
Just for the lobola process.
Who is this woman?
Damn.
Wasn't she like a singer or something?
Yeah, no, she's an
Musician
actress.
or an actress.
Yeah, and a speaker and something. She did have a music career. It fell
Okay.
through.
Okay.
Anyway, but he paid like a bunch for this thing, so he went for the whole process.
So it
And
can be anything from 10 Rand to.
it can be
10
anything
million
from
rand.
like a 2 liter Coke
Okay.
to R1 million.
I understand the 2 liter Coke thing because when I go ask my wife, well, my wife's dad, my father-in-law now.
Yes. Yeah.
When I went to go ask him, if I can get married to my wife.
This is my wife.
Well, my
My
girlfriend
wife.
back then, my wife. I took a 2 liter Coke with. We had a Coke.
What a
we had a
jet.
chat.
Put it there.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I
Cha-ching.
paid Labola. Cha-ching.
Nice.
Jokes. I don't know if that's how it works, but okay.
I
But,
hope it works
so
that
obviously
way.
you pay an amount.
Yeah,
You
pay an
agree
amount.
upon. But how do you agree upon this amount? Like, how do you get to a? Like, I
Yeah,
know what
how
we're
do you-
saying now is a very difficult thing. Women,
Yeah.
you are worth
You are
everything.
the world.
You're worth the world.
Everything.
But there is a moment where we pay Labola.
There is a number.
that that is agreed upon.
Yeah.
It's a. We're not saying you're worth.
You are
is
not
that
the number. You are not the number.
You are not the number.
The way it works is
How do you get to the number?
how do you get to the number? So it's like accomplishments essentially. So
Okay.
accomplishments and achievements. So the first one you want to look at is she educated? Did she go to high school? Did she get her matric certificate?
Matrix a good one.
Matric's a good one.
Matric's a
And
good
then if she studied further, that would add to it.
I
So
would
it's
have
like
paid so much money. Okay. Okay.
Lucky.
So she got a degree.
She's got a degree. She's got
Masters.
an honors, a master's, a PhD. She's
LMNOP. all those
LMNOPs and
things. Oh,
HDMIs, everything. And then also
then-
if she's like a public figure. So
Oh,
if
so she's got
a-
like public achievement, like
yeah,
a musician.
If she's a musician, a sports
Sports.
star, or anything, then that adds to it as well. She's famous. So just hope she's like a nobody
Yeah.
with like 3 followers on Instagram.
All right.
No,
and
I'm
then
kidding.
if she's working,
If
does that
she's
count?
working, yeah, it does count to it as well. It does
Okay.
add to it. And
If she's got a sweet Instagram page. Does
no,
that-
thank
does that,
the Lord.
okay, that doesn't
So
count.
luckily
Not yet.
the uncles are not tech savvy. So maybe our generation,
we might.
we might be like,
How many followers
she's got
do you
her
have on
blue tick.
Instagram?
She's got her blue
She's
tick.
got a blue tick.
She's certified.
You best believe
You
you
best
pay
believe
money.
you pay for each
Okay.
follower is a rand.
It follows around. Okay, so now you've okay. So let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I negotiate with people when I'm in shops, right?
I hear
Just
you.
because there's a number doesn't mean that's the price. Obviously, there's other price.
Yeah.
But obviously now we've spoken about the good things of this lady. But
Hmm.
is there a thing that you can deduct prices from?
Yeah, because it is a negotiation.
It's a negotiation. So
negotiation.
somewhere you
ladies,
can-
this is not even. It's not about you.
It's
You
not
are
about
lovely.
you, but
there's
it's-
nothing wrong.
It's about you.
There's nothing.
But it's not about you. But I mean, you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we spoke about all the nice stuff, the achievements. But is there a way that you can deduct? Because I mean, you don't want to deduct.
You don't want to deduct,
because
'cause
you're
then
telling the person
like
like,
bad mouthing your future wife.
yeah, hey, I know she's got an education, but she's got a wonky knee.
Yeah.
So do I get 50 rand off? Like, how does it work? Like, is there
Be like-
something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. So the term actually used for this, the English translation is damages.
That's ridiculous.
It's a rough term.
Sounds like a second-hand car salesman situation. I know it's got some hail damage, but it runs like a baby. It runs sweet.
But yeah,
The fan bell
the
screeches
fan
every
belts,
now and then. But
the wipers don't work.
when last did it have a service? Check. Think about damages. Like
Who was the lost insurer?
that's a bad way. So damage is not the most like nicest way to put it, I guess. But that's
Yeah.
what it's called.
But that's what it's called. It's called
Okay.
damages.
So what would be damages?
So damages in this case would be, it's actually sexual purity. So if she's had sex before or she's had a child before, then someone else would have to cover the damages.
Okay,
And
that
then
makes sense.
they would deduct from your
From
your
law.
negotiation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense.
That's one.
Okay.
And then I think other things would be like medical terms, like is she fertile?
Okay.
Is she able
Is
to
she
bear children? Does she
able
have
to-
childbearing hips?
To be
and
with
things?
child.
To be with child.
Yeah. Is there like stuff like if she's got a weird toe? Like
I feel like that's the negotiator's job. It depends on your negotiation.
'cause I don't know if I want to
Be
negotiate.
like she's got
that.
a glass eye. I don't know what
Yeah,
that is.
that's,
I feel like that's a 50,000 rand deduction.
I don't know what it's like, but okay, but it's all in the eye of the
It's all in the eye of the beholder.
yeah, so,
Yeah. It's
so it
up
all
to
makes
you.
sense. And then okay, so let's say now we've had this negotiation. We spoke about the good things, bad things, and let's say we settled on 50,000 rand, right?
Okay.
Which I don't know
that's
how
not
much it
too-
is, but
it's not
I've
too bad.
heard 50,000 rand before.
Not too bad.
So let's say I've got this 50,000 rand, but now I need to pay you. How does this payment process work? Is there like debit order? Do I pay it all at once? Do I save it up and then pay it? Do I pay a little bit per month? Lay-by? I don't know if that's an option.
I would love a lay-by.
A lay-by would be good, I think. And is there interest on that? Like, how does it?
And can you deduct that on SARS? Can you take?
Can you take that away from tax?
Can you take it off tax?
Can you pay Labola? Can you deduct tax
I don't know.
from Labola?
I feel like we have an ANC government. They are
We
all
can do
black.
it. We
They
can do it. But like, how do you deduct? How do you make?
I think that's up to you. It's up to you guys in the chat. I think it's if you say, okay, I have it all now with me, boom, here it is.
Boom.
Or you can
Make
be
it
like,
rain.
okay, cool. So a monthly installment, 50,000 rand, paid off like a car, and then
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So, but obviously there, I think we need to stop because that's Labola.
That is
the
the
next
process.
steps is
Everything
like
is
the
just a
marriage
party, yeah.
rituals and
Everything
like all
is
that
just
stuff.
celebration.
Celebration. and
Welcome to the
whatnot.
family.
So
Can you
that's
make
like
pap?
a whole. That's like a whole other,
Yeah.
conversation to have. It's not this conversation. So knowing what Labola is right now, knowing what it is, should Christians pay Labola?
Well, actually, so Labola is actually in the Bible.
It's a biblical term.
It's a biblical term. It's just the Bible word is bride price.
Bride
like we
price.
said in the beginning.
Bride price.
The bride price. So it's actually in Exodus chapter 22,
22, I've heard.
verse 16. It says this: if a man seduces a virgin who is not pledged to be married and sleeps with her, he must pay the bride price, and she will be his wife.
Okay, but that first part's a bit weird, let's be honest. Seduces a virgin and sleeps with her. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that. But, I mean, there we see the picture. Like,
Yeah.
you must pay the bride price and then it'll be his wife.
And then, then
Right?
become
So,
one.
so bride price is a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a biblical thing. It's a godly thing.
But
It's a heavenly thing.
there's another story in the Bible
Yeah.
that Abraham, so Abraham sends out one of his servants to go find his son a wife. Yes, what a loser. But anyway, like go find your own wife, bro. But anyway, he goes and the servant goes to find this wife, and then the servant meets Rebecca like at a well, and they like there's a bunch of stuff that happens. Rebecca, that's a good name, Rebecca.
really cool name,
I want to call my next plant Rebecca.
Oh, nice.
Rebecca. But yeah, the servant kind of meets Rebecca, and there's this whole story about how God is like, a part of this, the way that they, he meets the servant. And then Rebecca invites the servant into their household. And then the servant starts telling a story of how his journey went and how he met Rebecca at the right time and how everything just fell into the right place.
Yeah.
And how God has ordained for him to be here so that he could come fetch Rebecca for Abraham's son, right? And this is a beautiful moment.
It's
It's a beautiful moment. And
Everyone's
then,
crying.
then the father and the son are sitting there hearing the story. Laban and Bethuel is their names. Those are
Sure.
cool names. But then they answer to this. And the answer is this. It says this is from the Lord. We can say nothing to you one way or the other. Here is Rebecca. Take her and go, and let her become the wife of your master's son, as the Lord has directed. And then after that, like this blessing, this moment that the father says, yes, take my daughter, you're more than
She's
welcome.
yours.
After that, we see then only does the servant start taking out all these like gifts. I mean, he had camels like filled with
PlayStations.
gifts and like PlayStations and all this stuff. But he starts
50 liters of
lavishing
things,
this family with gifts, not just only the father, but like the mother and everyone. And he lavishes these gifts on them to obviously, show that this is where she's
appreciate,
going,
yeah.
and we appreciate this. So the big thing here is, number one, the blessing doesn't come after the payment. The blessing comes before the payment.
Yeah.
Because, the father said, who am I to go against this? Because this is obviously God speaking. And I think the first thing about Labola that we can maybe tackle is saying, it's not about just testing the ability first. It's about testing the heart first.
Not how big is his wallet, but how big is his heart muscle.
Does he love God?
Yeah.
Like, and is this what God, has planned? You see, or planned. Like, there's a friend of mine, he went through Labola negotiations,
Oh, yeah?
and he said it was so good because it was actually just him and the dad of the daughter, the dad of
His father-in-law.
Father-in-law, that's the one. And when they started the negotiations, he stopped before they could begin, the dad, and said, let's pray that God would be part of this negotiation. Because
Sure. That's really cool.
I know that you two need to be together, and we can see that in your lives. But I pray that God will be part of this negotiation. I think that's a real cool way. I think there should be a chat with the dad first, to say, before we get to the negotiations and Labola and those things, do you believe that me and your daughter should be together because of what God has done? Sure. And because we are talking about Christians paying Labola, right? So you are a Christian. So you need to ask the question, is God ordaining your relationship together? Like, does the father see you and her being together and God actually blessing that? Because I think if we can answer that question, we are then already seeing, the heart in the right place.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sure, that's cool.
even for myself, it was so I got before we got engaged, I went to go see my father-in-law, and he even challenged me. It was quite a big challenge. Like, he asks, like, so how will you be able to provide? And immediately I start going to the whole stuff,
The
of,
Excel
like,
spreadsheet.
Excel spreadsheet, and like, I'm gonna get this much, and we can do that, and we can do this, and the accommodation's gonna be this, and so we'll be okay. And he stops me and he says, "No, I know you can provide him money. That's not a problem. Anyone can make money. It's not the issue. Can he provide emotionally and spiritually?"
Sure.
And I think that question is the thing that rattled me. I actually went back and had to go think. and I think that's the question we need to ask first. We'll test the ability later through Labola, but let's ask the question first. Will you be able to protect and provide for this woman spiritually and emotionally? Will you be there for them? Will you be able to grow together? Because if you can answer that question, then I think, yes, then Labola is a beautiful thing to pay, because now you've asked the question of heart. But then you can step into the question of ability.
Yeah, I feel like I heard this one thing from Pastor Stephen Furtick, my dog. We WhatsApp every now and then, and he said this.
Pastor Stephen Furtick. Okay.
Pastor.
Yeah.
And he said this one thing is like, it's all good and dandy. Like, he loves the Lord. He's in the front row at worship. But does he have grocery money?
That's a good question.
Can you eat
Yeah.
when you're together?
Yeah.
And that's a good question. It's the heart is right, but the ability.
Because I mean, let's be
ability
honest,
as
right?
well.
If I have a daughter and this guy comes, the first thing I want to know is, does he know God?
Yeah, solidly.
If he loves
it.
God, then I'll be like, great. And then I want to know, is my daughter going to be okay?
Yeah.
Like, is she going to be looked after? Because I'm giving my life to look after her.
And now you're telling me you want to do it,
You want to do it.
but can you do it? Yeah.
But can you do it? Like, and this is the way you test that ability, right? Is actually saying, well, Labola is a way of saying, you know, what, this is what I can provide. This is what I can do. Look,
Yeah.
this is what I can bring to the table. And I think that's a very good thing.
Yeah.
So the question that we need to answer, which we're going to answer right now,
Yes.
should Christians pay Labola?
I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
If it's done in this way, where the heart comes first and then the ability, then solidly.
Yeah, obviously, Labola shouldn't be the reason you get married.
Yeah.
Because we've seen, as you've said, stories of people that have failed marriages because of that, because it was all about what could be provided and not what could actually be ordained by God or be in relationship with God. And I think that's the picture. If we put God first to answer the big question, is God, you know, part
First
of this
in
thing
your marriage, yeah.
in our marriage or in the
In
thing that
your
we want to get married
engagement.
to, in our engagement, and then from there on to go, well, this is the ability. This is what
Yeah.
I can put down. I think as a dad, if a guy comes to me and says, you know what, we've seen God in our marriage and it's amazing, or in our relationship, and we trust in God for this, and I can provide, I'll be like, bro, take my daughter, like, go for
Take
it.
it tomorrow.
I'll be like like what Rebecca's dad said, go, therefore, who am I to say anything? This is obviously God working. And so I think that's the good picture of it.
Yeah.
So conclusion, pay Labola.
Yes, Christians should pay the Labola.
Should definitely pay Labola.
Yeah.
So are you going to pay Labola?
Well, actually, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and remember to ring that little bell, and you'll be the first to know what happens on the Good Question Show.
You didn't answer my question to me.
Good day. Goodbye. Enjoy. Hello, Mom?